Second pitch here is going to be called strike now, 0-2. This pitch is going to be low, called ball. So now 1-2. So 1-2, 2 outs still. Runners on the corner. Sumner has stayed put so far in this one, as that one's going to be hit high. Looks like it's going to be out in center field, and that's McCabe not having to move much to make that play. And the Cougars get out, leaving 2 on, but not before the Quakers tack on another run. So the Quakers still with a 2-run lead here at the top of the second. The Cougars back up to bat at the bottom of the second. We'll be right back with Averett Sports Network after the break.
Averett University provides all you need for your future through learning that embraces all of your infinite potential. With flexible online and on-campus programs, affordable tuition, and over 50 majors and programs. Visit allaverett.com. Are you all in?
And we are back here with Averett Sports Network. The Cougars trying to answer back here after the Quakers putting up a run in both the first and second here. The Cougars still scoreless, trying to get the bat swinging here. Leading things off, it's going to be Tyler Smith, the first baseman here for the Cougars. Tyler Wilson. Tyler Wilson on the season, batting 156 with 45 at-bats and 7 hits. His first pitch called ball here for Wilson. That one's going to be hit high. Looks like it's going to go out to left field. And that's going to be a routine pop out to left field to get the first batter gone for the Cougars. So Quakers open out, get it out. And now up to bat's going to be number 26.
Number 26, Chase Davis.
It's going to be Chase Davis. We talked about him a little bit in the top of the second. He had a 2-home-run day in his last matchup versus Carolina. He's been swinging a hot bat here for the Cougars. His first pitch is going to be outside, called ball to make it 1-0. Chase Davis on the year batting .206 with 34 at-bats and 7 hits. Breaking pitch getting inside the strike zone there by Marcellus. That was a good pitch. Started out going towards Davis, broke back into the zone to now make it 1-1 here. This pitch is going to be fouled off into the backstop here to make it 2 strikes. 1-2 here. And a swing and a miss for Davis as Marcellus picks up his third strikeout here of the matchup so far in the second inning. So now first 5 batters here for the Cougars retired as they're still struggling to try to keep the bat swinging from yesterday as they put up quite a bit of runs in their last matchup here. Now Grider Number 3, the third baseman here for the Cougars, up to hit. Caden Greider as he pops out to second, and plays made by second base. So another 1-2-3 inning defensively here for the Quakers, as they're going to be back up to bat here at the top of the third. We'll be right back with Averett Sports Network after the break. And we are back here at the top of the third. The Quakers still out with a 2-run lead, as the Quakers have been able to get it done defensively here to start off the first 2 innings, as they're trying to keep the bat swinging here, as it's going to bring up number 5, Ryland Smith, to lead things off here for the Quakers. Breaking pitch gets into the strike zone to start things off for Collins, 0-1. Another pitch falling to the outside part of the zone, this time called ball to make it 1-1. Smith, a freshman out of Archdale, North Carolina. So that's going to be a low pitch, called ball to make it now 2-1. Another outside pitch for Collins now to make things 3-1. So now Collins got to battle back into the count here. Smith has a pitch to give, as that's a big swing and a miss there by Smith to make everything full here. Full count, 3-2. So the Cougars trying to retire the leadoff batter here and start things out with 1 out, nobody on. As this pitch is going to be swung at and out of play to keep things alive here for Smith. Smith looked like he was just trying to protect the plate there. That could have been called strike or ball. Smith didn't take the risk. He just fouled that one off until he gets his pitch. As that one's going to be hit straight down the middle out to center field, and that's going to get through for a single there for Smith, as he protected the plate on a full count, and the very next pitch singles up the middle. So the Quakers, so the leadoff batter there for the Quakers able to get on. This brings back up number 20 for the Quakers, Alden Horn. Horn, a senior out of Sherrills Ford, North Carolina. He pops up, and that's Romano stretching over from second base out behind first. Smart defensive play there by the Cougars to keep Smith on the first base, as Romano gets the first out of the inning there for the Cougars. as in all 3 innings, the Quakers have been able to get the leadoff runner on by single. Now back up to bat's going to be Tudor. The DH here for the Quakers. His first pitch is left alone and called strike to make it 0-1. And this just goes to show how important it is in baseball to get that leadoff runner on, as they've been able to get the leadoff runner on in all 3 innings to start things off, and the leadoff runner has been the one to score in the first 2. That's first pitch, or excuse me, last pitch. It's going to make it 1-1. As that hit is going to be hit out the second. They go get the second base runner, and the ball picked up out the dirt there by Wilson at first base. Outstanding play to keep it in front of him, but the throw was not in time there. So that's going to be a fielder's choice. Go ahead and retire the runner there at second. Keep a runner on first out of scoring position. So the Cougars unable to get the double play, but get initially that first out. You know, old saying in baseball, 1's a must, 2's a plus. And they got the needed out there at second. So now Collins with 2 outs here, runner on first. Smith up to bat. Colin Smith up to bat here, the catcher. He singled in his first at-bat for the Quakers. He contributed to one of the runs in the second inning as he was the leadoff runner, stole second, and was able to get around to home to put up the second run here for the Quakers. So now he's batting with a runner on first. That ball's going to be fouled off into the backstop to make it 1-1. So count 1-1, 2 outs here. Runner on first. Collins, his pitch here is going to be fouled out of play to make it now 2 strikes. So Collins getting out ahead of the count here to make it 1-2 with 2 outs. Force out can be made at second or first here in the infield. As this pitch is going to be outside and low, left alone by Smith to make it now 2-2. Smart waste pitch there by Collins, just trying to get Smith to go for it there. As this pitch is going to be outside again. Wilson with the throw down the first over the head of Tyler Wilson. But that was Tudor who didn't get a good jump on that one as he was trying to get back to first. And the Cougars get away with one there. As that was a good backup by Davis out in right field to get the ball in as quickly as possible. And the runner will stay at first. So now a full count here for the Quakers. And Smith, as he was able to battle back into this one. Breaking pitch left high. Tudor was running anyway with a full count and 2 outs. So now runners on second and first, still 2 outs here, so play can be made in the infield at third, second, or first. This brings back up number 23, Nick Bowles, who popped out in his first at-bat for the Quakers. He now has a runner in scoring position here. Breaking pitch. Good pitch there by Collins. Breaks into the zone for strike number 1 in this at-bat. Collins, the freshman out of Fayetteville, North Carolina, played his high school ball at Pine Forest. That pitch is going to be hit out to second base, and they make the play at second. The 4-6 put out at second to get out of the inning and leave 2 on. And the Cougars leave the Quakers scoreless in the top of the third, and they will be back up to bat at the bottom of the third. We'll be right back with Averett Sports Network after the break.
Averett University provides all you need for your future through learning that embraces all of your infinite potential. With flexible online and on-campus programs, affordable tuition, and over
And we are back here with Averett Sports Network, bottom of the third. The Cougars were able to hold the Quakers scoreless in the top of the third as they're going to try to get the bat swinging here.
And now batting for your Averett Cougars, number 27, Kyle Wilson.
And this brings up number 27, Kyle Wilson, batting 208 on the year with 77 at-bats, 16 hits on the year, and 3 home runs. As first pitch, it's going to be called a strike to make it 0-1 to start things off here. Leadoff batter for the Cougars. As that one's going to be fouled out of play to make it now strike number 2. 0-2 here for Wilson to start things off here on the leadoff batter. Pitch is going to be left alone away in the dirt to make it now 1-2 here. Kyle Wilson, the senior out of Wake Forest, North Carolina, played his baseball days in high school at Wake Forest High School. As that one's going to be a chopper up the middle and stretching across and making the play. That's going to be number 4 for the Quakers. Michael Sumner stretching across over behind second. And making the play at first. Nice play defensively there for the Quakers and Sumner to make it a 6-3 put out to start things off here. So now this brings up now number 2, Nick Romano, the second baseman, to swing the bat here for the Cougars. Batting .214 on the year with 42 at-bats. As he has 9 hits. So now he's going to start things off 0-1 here. With 1 out, nobody on. As that outside pitch going to be called ball to make it 1-1. The Quakers able to retire the first 7 batters in a row here defensively. As that pitch is going to fall inside to make it now 1-2 here. So now Romano with a 2-strike approach here. Got to protect the plate. As that pitch is going to be hit out to third. Throw high, but there in time. Nice play there by number 5 for the Quakers. Ryland Smith, the freshman, out on third base. With the 5-3 put out to make it now 2 outs, nobody on. Bringing up now Nolan McCabe, the center fielder. And most of his appearances is in the leadoff spot, number 1 here for the Cougars. Been missing a few games due to injury. Now he's back in the lineup now at number 9. His first pitch going to be called inside for a strike to make it 0-1. Noah McCabe batting .222 on the year, 54 at-bats with 14 hits. As that is going to be a blooper out the center field, and that's going to be the first hit here for the Cougars, as McCabe able to get on and get a runner on the base path with 2 outs here for the Cougars. So the Cougars break the tough defensive play there by the Quakers as they try to get something going here. This brings back up Mason Williams, who struck out in his first at-bat. McCabe is 11 for 12 on the season with stolen bases. So a very dangerous runner on the base path here for the Cougars, which is usually your leadoff guy, but now you got him on first in the 9 slot at the top of your lineup. So that's a plus with having one of those types of guys batting at the bottom of the lineup here. As that one's going to be another single up the middle out to center field. So now the Cougars, 2 back-to-back hits, put 2 runners on to make it 1 and 2, or runners on first and second.
And now batting,
It brings back up Brophy. Brophy struck out in his first appearance here as he's trying to keep things rolling here with the Cougars, as they've been hitting very nicely in this inning with 2 outs on the board. Breaking pitch here, finds the top part of the strike zone to make it 0-1 here. As that pitch couldn't find the strike zone to make it 1-1. That pitch is going to be fouled out of play to make it now 2 strikes. 1 and 2 here for Brent Brophy. He's now got to protect the plate here with 2 runners on and 2 outs. The best inning so far batting-wise here for the Cougars as they put up both their hits in this inning alone. So that pitch is going to be low and inside to make it 2 and 2. This pitch is going to be hit out to left field. That's going to be a single. McCabe, all that speed coming in. Throw's going to be cut off by third, and that will be an RBI single for Brophy with 2 strikes on the board as he keeps the bats rolling here for the Cougars. 3 straight singles score a runner who started it off, McCabe, came up with 2 outs, and he got the first single for the Cougars. And then 2 more after that scores him. So now the Cougars, who held the Quakers scoreless in the top of the third, find their first run of the game to now make it a 1-run game. And this brings up the DH, number 42, Chris Bird. Bird with 15 RBIs on the season. So he knows exactly what to do with runners on. He's been able to do it pretty well for the Cougars this season, leading the team in RBIs. That pitch looked like it might have came out the side of the hand by Marcellus, left outside to make it now 2-1 for Bird as he's now ahead of the count here. That one's going to be hit out to second base. A laser to second, but the Quakers able to hold on and retire the Cougars to get out the inning, but not before the Cougars put up a run in the bottom of the third to make it now 2-1. We'll be back at the Top of the fourth with the Quakers trying to answer with Averett Sports Network.
Is inclusive, encompassing, inspiring. Averett University provides all you need for a future you deserve through learning that embraces all of your infinite potential with flexible online and on-campus programs like our newest programs in entrepreneurship and psychology, with more coming soon. With affordable tuition and 24/7 support, it all leads to you becoming a catalyst for positive change. Visit allaverett.com. Averett University. Are you all in?
And we are back here with Averett Sports Network. Top of the fourth, the Cougars able to answer after 7 straight batters retired in a row. The Cougars with a 2-out rally. Or excuse me, 8 batters retired in a row. And they picked up a 2-out rally. 3 straight single scores. For the Cougars to make it now a 1-run game, as they had a pretty ideal third inning. They left the Quakers scoreless in the top of the third and was able to pick back up a run at the bottom of the third. So Quakers now trying to answer with that bat here. Collins pitch left high outside the zone to make it 2-1. This brings back up number 12 here for the Quakers. Carter Blum, as that's going to be another strike to make it 2-2. So now for the Quaker, this is the 9-hole hitter. After him, it brings back up 1, 2, and 3, as that one's going to be fouled. Kyle Wilson stretching to try to make the play there, but it's going to go out of play and fall. So Blum stays alive there. Count still now 2-2. As that pitch fouled off the backstop and keep things alive here for Blum. So now ball here makes it now a full count. Blum able to battle back into the count. As that one's going to be hit out to Brophy at short. He goes across the diamond to first, and that's going to be a 6-3 put out to start things off here for the Cougars defensively to go ahead and get the leadoff batter. This brings back up Vestal here with nobody on and 1 out. As that pitch looked like it was tracking into the strike zone but stayed outside to make it 1-0. Fastball here popped up into the air. Looks like that's it's going to be the left fielder there for the Cougars making the play. That's Mason Williams. As McCabe sprinting all the way over, backing him up, but no need, as Williams able to make the play. So now the Cougars get 1 and 2 here to get 2 outs to start things off defensively here in this inning. As the Cougars, who started out slow defensively in the first 2 innings, able to reel it back in the last few at-bats. Bunt here is going to pop straight up in the air, and that's going to be a pop out to the catcher. Kyle Wilson comes up and makes a play, so the Cougars now go 1, 2, and 3 defensively to get out the top of the fourth. We'll be back at the bottom of the fourth to see if the Cougars build off the momentum with Averett Sports. Flip the script as the Quakers were able to hold the Cougars scoreless in the first 2 and score a run in the first 2. The Cougars were able to hold them scoreless and score a run in the third. So they're trying to keep that momentum going with Wilson, Tyler Wilson, the first baseman, to start things off here for the Cougars. That's first pitch fouled out of play to make it 0-1 here. This pitch going to be low and in the dirt to make it now 1-1. That one's going to be hit high out to right field and just reeled it in. That was the right fielder there for the Quakers. That was Alden Horn. The ball caught right at the top of the glove there. You could still see some white on it from back here in the press box. Was close to rolling out, but he was able to snowball it in to get the first out, pop out for Tyler Wilson. Now bringing up number 26 here for the Cougars, Chase Davis. His first pitch here, called ball to make it 1-0 here. That one pops up again. This one is going to be outside the right field line. First baseman coming over and making the pop out here. So 2 pop outs for the first 2 outs here for the Quakers, as Harrison was able to stretch over towards the Averett dugout there and make the pop out. As this brings back up now Caden Grider with 2 outs and nobody on. Just has to try to get on base here to keep that bat alive here for the Cougars. That pitch is going to be low and called ball to make it 1-0. Another pitch is going to be low and in the dirt to make it 2-0. That pitch catching the strike zone. Grider thought about it, left it alone, called strike to make it now 2-1. He was ahead of the count 2-0, could afford to give a pitch there, as that pitch is going to be left alone. And now Marcellus battling all the way back into the count to make it now 2-2. So now Grider has to protect the plate here to try to keep the Cougars' hopes in the bottom of the fourth alive, as that one's going to be looked at and ring him up as Marcellus picks up a backwards K there to get out of the inning. 1-2-3. The Quakers get back on the roll defensively. We'll be right back at the top of the fifth with the Quakers back up to bat.
Is inclusive, encompassing, inspiring. Averett University provides all you need for a future you deserve through learning that embraces all of your infinite potential with flexible online and on-campus programs like our newest programs in entrepreneurship and psychology, with more coming soon, with affordable tuition and 24/7 support. It all leads to you becoming a catalyst for positive change. Visit allaverett.com. Averett University. Are you all in?
And we are back here at the top of the fifth. Harrison, the first baseman here for the Quakers, to lead things off here. That pitch is going to be left high, called ball to make it 1-0. Second pitch here. Was tracking inside. They're going to call that outside the strike zone to make it now 2-0. Another inside pitch from Collins to make it now 3-0. As I could have imagined that Harrison's going to swing at this pitch with a 3-0 count. You should, especially at the leadoff hitter. Collins able to battle back and get a strike there. So now 3-1. Harrison can afford to be picky here, wait for his pitch, and that's dangerous when you got a batter hitting .450 with 8 home runs on the season, giving him a choice, as that one's hit straight back at Collins to make it now a 1-3 put out for the first out to get the leadoff batter here. This brings up Ryland Smith. Leads the team in batting average with .467 with 105 at-bats. As he's going to try to get a base runner on here for the Quakers. Also has 6 home runs, so dangerous hitter here. And that's always tough when you got 2 batters back-to-back of that caliber. Cougars were able to retire the first, trying to go ahead and get the second here. So that one's going to be left high as well to make it now 3-0. Pitch to try to battle back, and this one is good in the strike zone to make it now 3-1. Inside pitch there gets Smith swinging, and that's a nice pitch by Collins as he forces now a full count here. And And that ball is going to be hit out the second to Romano. He goes over the first, and that's going to be the 4-3 put out for the second out of the inning. So first two gone here as the Cougars defensively keep it rolling. So 2 outs, nobody on. This brings back up now number 20, Alden Horn here. As that one's popped straight up in the air. Looks like it could be trouble, but that's McCabe just stretching up, coming up and making the play to go 1-2-3 for the Cougars defensively. We'll be right back here at the bottom of the 5th with the Cougars back up to bat with Averett Sports Network. And we are back here with Averett Sports Network, bottom of the 5th here. Cougars back up to bat, leading things up. It's going to be number 27, Kyle Wilson. This first pitch here is going to be called ball to make it 1-0. That one's going to be fouled off into the back net to make it now 1-1. The Cougars defensively have figured it out in the last 3 innings. They gave up 2 runs early in the first 2 innings, and in the last 3 have held the Quakers to no runs. As that one's fouled out of play to make it 1-2 for Wilson. The problem here for the Cougars is that the Quakers defensively have been very strong. They gave up 1 run in the 3rd. And all 3 of the Cougars' hits have been in the 3rd inning, and that was with 2 outs on the board. So they rallied, got a run, but they got to keep things going after going 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 4th. So now Wilson battling here at the plate, fouls one off to stay alive at 1-2. The leadoff batter here for the Cougars. As that one's going to be popped up in the air. That's Hairston over there at first base tracking it. And he's going to make another play over there by the Cougars dugout for the first out of the bottom of the 5th. So now Romano with nobody on and 1 out. Swing the bat here for the Cougars. Romano, a sophomore out of Chesterfield, Virginia. So that pitch is going to be called ball to make it 1-0. That one's going to be hit out to left field. And play is going to be made by Vestal out there in left field. So 2 pop-outs to retire the first 2 there for the Cougars. As Romano did a nice job of barreling that up just The wrong spot there. So now 2 outs here. McCabe back up to hit with 2 outs. His single in his first at-bat came with 2 outs on the board. That got the rally going here for the Cougars. First pitch going to be outside, called ball to make it 1-0. As that one's going to be hit high out to left field again. That's Vessel stretching back to the warning track there and getting the 3rd out of the inning to make it 1-2-3. We'll be right back at the top of the 6th. The Quakers still holding on to a 1-run lead.
Is inclusive, encompassing, inspiring. Averett University provides all you need for a future you deserve through learning that embraces all of your infinite potential with flexible online and on-campus programs like our newest programs in entrepreneurship and psychology, with more coming soon, with affordable tuition and 24/7 support. It all leads to you becoming a catalyst for positive change. Visit allaverett.com. Averett University. Are you all in?
And we are back here at the top of the 6th, as it's been a very good defensive showing by both sides here recently. As number 8, Grayson Tudor, up to hit here for the Quakers as breaking pitch comes in the middle of the strike zone for strike number 1 to make it 0-1. So Cougars had a few tough breaks in the last inning, as that one's going to be hit. Brophy reaching out, couldn't make the line drive play. That gets out to center field to get a hit for Tudor to lead things off here for the Quakers. So Cougars popped out on 3 straight batters in the last inning. Were able to put the ball in play, just not in the right spots. As McCabe almost carried the left field wall, hit warning track there. If the wind was blowing a little bit harder, probably had a chance of going out. So now Smith back up, the catcher here for the Quakers, back up to hit. That one's hit high out to center field. That's McCabe coming up, trying to make the play, and he does to get an out here. So the Cougars trade a leadoff hit for an out there in the second batter. So runner stays on first, 1 out here for the Cougars, with number 23, Nick Bowles, back up to hit. So the Quakers have been doing a nice job for most of the game getting that leadoff runner on. And it paid out for him in the first 2 innings. As bunt attempt there, it's going to be missed. Throw down by Kyle Wilson, almost got there in time, as Tyler Wilson, the first baseman, tried to swing across and catch Tudor, but he was able to get back in time. So first pitch called strike to make it 0-1, 1 out here. Pitch here is going to be poked out, and that's going to fall in play. So a little hit and run action here by the Quakers. Gets for a double here for Bowles, as he's able to put now 2 runners in scoring position here. Runners on second and third with 1 out, with Carter Blum up to hit, the second baseman here, with 1 out. So sac fly in play here to try to score 1 for the Quakers. First pitch by Collins in this at-bat is going to be called strike to make it 0-1. Important at-bat here for the Cougars. As Wilson does a nice job of just being a wall back there and keeping the runners on at their position. That one was low in the dirt. To make it now 1-1. If the Cougars can retire Blum here without the runners advancing, now they're looking at 2 outs with runners on second and third, takes away the sac fly, and you can be talking about a completely different situation. That one is going to be hit out of play to make it now strike number 2. 1-2 here for Blum. As Collins is in the driver's seat right now in this at-bat, ahead of the count here. And now the pitch calling opens up a little bit here. As this pitch is going to be inside and batted away out of play. So Blum just protecting the plate, staying alive here. As we see some movement in the Cougars bullpen. I'll let you know who that is as soon as I catch a number. As that pitch is going to be called ball now to make it 2-2. This pitch is going to be hit, and it's going to fall fair, but barely, as that's going to be a double there for Blum. Back-to-back double scores 2 here for the Quakers now to take it to a 3-run lead, as that one was awfully close, as they're going to make the call here to the bullpen, it looks like. And it's going to be head coach Kenny Fleming coming into the mound. And it looks like we're going to have a change of pitchers here. Tough break there for the Cougars as that ball hit right beside the foul line there. Yeah, that's going to be number 12, Eric Hansen. Has a 4.15 ERA on the season, 1-1 win-loss with 12 appearances. He's got 18 strikeouts on the season. As he's trying to get out the inning here. We'll be right back after he warms up with Averett Sports Network after the break. And we are back here with Averett Sports Network. Hansen's now on the bump here for the Cougars as he's going to take over this matchup. Now up to bat for the Quakers is going to be Bryce Vestal. Vestal's been playing Very nice defensively out in left field. His first pitch here is going to be called strike on the outside of the zone to make it an 0-1 start here for Hansen on his first pitch in the matchup. Runner on second in scoring position here with 1 out on the board. Inside pitch. Wilson does a nice job blocking that one up, keeping the runner on second at bay. Count now 1-1. So that pitch going to be fouled out of play there by Vestal to now make it 2 strikes, 1-2 here. Pitch now hit out of play down the right side of the field. Staying alive is Vestal. This one hit the Tyler Wilson, takes a bad hop, gets over Tyler Wilson's head, and that's going to score another as Blum rotates the bags and gets over to home plate to tack on another run. 3-run inning so far here for the Quakers to make it now a 5-1 lead. As that's going to leave a runner on second here in Vestal. Now bringing up Sumner. Pitch here left high by Hansen to make it 1-0. And the Cougars able to catch Vestal. And a pickoff there. Nice move by Hansen to go ahead and get the runner out in scoring position at second. So now 2 outs here for the Cougars with a 1-0 count. Another pitch left high there by Hansen now to make it 2-0. Nice pitch by Hansen, called ball, now 3-0. He's got to battle back into the count now. Pitch right down the middle, battles back to get the first strike of the at-bat to make it now 3-1 with 2 outs. So that one's going to be hit to Brophy out shortstop. He throws it over, but Tyler Wilson has to come off the bag. And that will leave Sumner to reach at first on a base hit. So that was a tough play by Brophy to try to stretch over and make. He just does a nice job to keep it out in front of him, to keep a runner at first with minimal damage. So on the bright side here for Hansen and that pickoff, he was able to get the runner at second out to make it now 2 outs. So now the Cougars got to force out at either second or first. Now runners not in scoring position. Hairston back up to hit here for the Quakers. Outside pitch, called ball to make it now 2-0. This pitch gets into the strike zone to make it now 2-1. Hanson, a junior out of Gladys, Virginia. As that pitch is going to get past Wilson, and Sumner reaches with little to no effort there on second base to now put a runner in scoring position. They count now 3-1. So that pitch inside, call ball, will walk Hairston. So now runners on first and second, 2 outs. Play can be made at third, second, and first here. As now Ryland Smith back up to bat here for the Quakers. As first pitch called strike to make it 0-1. As that pitch is going to be outside to now make it 1-1. So now runner on first and second still. 2 outs here. As that one's going to be hit high to left center. And that's going to carry, and that's going to be a home run there for Ryland Smith. A 3-run shot out to left center to keep things rolling here at the top of the 6th. Now 6 runs scored in this inning to make it now 8-1. As that brings now Ryland Smith to 7 home runs on the season. Smith was able to catch all of that one. And this will now bring up number 20 here, Alden Horn, with 2 outs, nobody on. Pitch there, falls strike to make it 1-1. So this pitch is going to be called strike now, 1-2. As that's going to be hit fair, gets by Grider, and that's deep out to left field. And that will be a double. That will be a double there for Horn. So, runner on second. This is now Tudor back up to hit here for the Quakers. This one's going to be hit high out to center field. McCabe coming over, makes the play and gets out the inning, but not before the Quakers put up 6 runs on the board thanks to a 3-run shot by Ryland Smith. The Cougars trying to answer in the bottom of the 6th after the break with Averett Sports Network.
Averett University provides all you need for your future through learning that embraces all of your infinite potential. With flexible online and on-campus programs, affordable tuition, and over 50 majors and programs. Visit allaverett.com. Are you all in?
And we are back here at the bottom of the 6th. Mason Williams to start things off here for the Cougars, as that one's going to be popped up high. Harrison trying to stretch over to make the play, but that's going to be out of play outside the right side fence to make it now a long strike here for Williams. So 0-1. Start things out with Williams, the leadoff batter here for the Cougars. As this one's going to be fouled out of play to make it now 2 strikes, 0-2 here. That pitch going to be fouled off. Looked like it caught Williams' legs there. But he appears to be all right. Gave it a little hop, but he's fine. Going to take a swing there. Zede protects the plate, stays alive here. Count still 0-2. Pitch left high here for Marcellus to make the count now 1-2. The junior out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, has been playing a great game up to this point. That one fouled up high. It's going to go out to Vestal in left field, and that's going to be a pop out to go ahead and retire the leadoff batter for the Cougars. To bring up now Brant Brophy. Brophy got the lone RBI earlier in this matchup. So he's going to try to get things going with the bats here for the Cougars. They'll try to make a dent into the 7-run lead by the Quakers. This pitch is going to be left high and called ball to make it 1-0. Fastball into the dirt to make it now 2-0. High pitch now, 3 straight balls here for Marcellus to making it now a 3-0 count. So now Brophy can choose any pitch he wants here with 2 strikes to give. That one's going to be left alone and called strike. So now 3-1. This pitch, Brophy thought it was going to catch too far inside for the ball, but they call it a strike now to make it a full count. Sometimes as a batter, you just got to sell it a little bit. That one didn't pay off. Now that pitch left high. Brophy will reach off of a walk. So the Cougars pop out with the first, the leadoff batter, but they are able to get Brophy in the second batter spot on base. This will bring up now number 42, Chris Bird, with a runner on first and 1 out. This pitch pulled out of play by Bird to make it a long strike to make it now 0-1. Pick off there to first base, not in time. Brophy able to get back. So that looks like they're just trying to keep Brophy honest. Because Brophy is 8 for 8 on stolen bases, so that's a nice play by shortstop to get out of the inning. That's going to be number 4, Michael Sumner, who just made an awesome play there off the read. Dove for it, took a bad hop. He was able to reach up and collect himself to make the play at second and roll 2. So the Quakers get out of the inning And they will go.
Averett University provides all you need for your future through learning that embraces all of your infinite potential. With flexible online and on-campus programs, affordable tuition, and over 50 majors and programs. Visit allaverett.com. Are you all in?
And we are back here at the top of the 7th. Leading things off is going to be Colin Smith, the catcher here. This looks like Comer got a little bit of bad footing there on the plate. Or on the plant, excuse me. Looks like he's going to be all right. His first pitch called ball to make it now 1-0. He battles back, gets a strike there to make it 1-1. That one's going to be swung at, missed to make it now 1-2. And that's one of the things as a pitcher coming into this one, when you come into a game late, you get those divots made in the mound where the previous pitcher's been pitching kind of made. And you just got to get used to it. As he gets caught again, that one's going to be hit out to left field for a single to start things off for Smith. So this brings back up Bowles with a runner on first. The leadoff batter gets on. So no outs. Runner on first here. As this pitch by Comer is going to be outside and called ball. Comer coming into this one. 5.6 ERA. So that one's going to be called ball to make it now 2-0. 5.6 ERA with 12 appearances. Has 18 strikeouts. 18 strikeouts on the season. As that one's going to be called ball. So 3 straight balls here for Comer and makes the count 3-0. As he's able to battle back and get a pitch there. Now 3-1. So that one's going to be a chopper out to third. Grider jumps up, makes the play, and stretches it over the first to get the force out at first. So 5-3 put out here to go ahead and get out number 1. But that will advance the runner to second and Smith. So now a runner in scoring position at second with 1 out off the board. This brings out Blum. So that one's hit straight to Tyler Smith. And he was looking second to try to catch Smith. Nobody covering second. So he just keeps the ball. So now 2 quick outs there after getting the leadoff runner on, as this will bring up Vestal at the top of the lineup here with a runner in scoring position. Pitch here is going to be left high and called ball. So now 1-0. It's another high pitch to make it now 2 balls, no strikes. Inside pitch, call ball. So now 3-0, the count here for Comer. This pitch is going to get in there for a strike there for Comer to make it now 3-1. That one hit high out the center field. And that's going to be McCabe stretching back, making the play for the 3rd out of the inning. The Cougars answer with a scoreless inning, and they will be back up to bat at the bottom of the 7th after the break. And we are back here with Averett Sports Network at the bottom of the 7th here. Leading things off here at the bottom of the 7th for the Cougars is going to be number 24, Tyler Smith, the first baseman. As that was the little half swing, it's going to go out to third to Sumner, as he's going to go across and get the first out here on the leadoff batter. Didn't look like Wilson really wanted that pitch. Tried to check swing, but caught a piece of it. So 1 out here to start things off. So it looks like we're going to have a pinch runner or a pinch hitter here for the Cougars. It's going to be number 28, Preston Robbins. This pitch left high, called ball to make things 1-0 here for Preston Robbins. His first at bat of the matchup here. Robbins coming into this one, bat 224 on the year. So that's going to be a strike there to make it 1-1. Bat 224 with 67 at-bats and 15 hits. As that one's going to be watched in for a ball to make it 2-1. That pitch is going to be called strike to make it 2-2. So now 2-2, 1 out on the board. Outside pitch trying to get Robbins to chase. He stays off of it to now force a full count, 3-2. As they get the check from the first base umpire to see if he went. He said he was safe, so that will be a walk there for Robbins in his first at-bat to get a runner on first base to get things moving here for the Cougars with 1 out here. This brings back up number 3, Nathan Grider, the third baseman. Caden Grider, excuse me. That one's going to be hit. Looks like it's going to get into center field, drops down, and that will be a single there for Grider as he's able to reach off a single to advance the runner to second. So now runners on first and second with 1 out here. Now brings up Kyle Wilson.
Number 27, Kyle Wilson.
So Kyle Wilson trying to keep things going here for the Cougars. That's first pitch called ball here for Marcellus to now make it 1-0. So that one's going to be hit high out to left field, and that's going to be a play made by Vestal. For the second out of the inning, runners will stay put at first and second, bringing up now Romano.
And now batting, number 2, Nick Romano.
This pitch left high to make it 1-0 to start things off here for Romano at bat. The Cougars got to try to get some runs here. Pull this one back in within reach. Is that one? It's going to be called foul. It's awfully close there on the third baseline to being fair, but called foul to make it 1-1. So we're starting to see a little bit of movement in the Guilford side bullpen there. So that pitch is going to be called ball to make it now 2-1. And this pitch left high, now 3-1. Inside pitch, awfully close to catching Romano. But that will be so that was going to be called ball, as there was 3 balls anyway, so you don't have to take that pitch. And Romano will reach off of a walk, 2 walks here for Marcellus. It will lead to a mound visit here. As head coach Zach Booker, in his second season as head coach here for the Quakers, coming to talk to Marcellus here. So no gesture made to the bullpen yet, so Marcellus will stay in this one with bases loaded. As Coach Booker is going to put his faith in Marcellus to get out the jam here. So the umpire is going to talk it over as behind the plate made a gesture saying it was the second mound visit for the Quakers, but it was only their first, so they just talked that over, got that straight. So first pitch here for Marcellus after the walk is going to be a strike to make it 0-1. This pitch is going to be low and away, called ball to make it 1-1. So now the Cougars with bases loaded, 2 outs here. So you're running on any contact in play here. That pitch, McCabe was thinking about it, watched it in, and that ended up being in the dirt. So now 2-1. So McCabe has already got a single here with 2 outs on the board. So a player that's seen a lot of innings for the Cougars, very smart player at the plate. As this pitch, it's going to be popped straight up in the air. Looks like it's going to go out of play. No movement made towards it. So that will be a long strike here for McCabe. So now 2-2 is McCabe with a 2-strike approach with runners on all bases with 2 outs. You do not want to get caught looking here. So you're swinging at anything close, just trying to put something out in play. As that one's going to be poked out. Trouble, but a nice play out by number 23, Nick Bowles, to get down in the grass and make the pop-out play in center field to get out of the inning and leave 3 runners on for the Cougars. So we'll be back at the top of the 8th with the Quakers back up to hit with Averett Sports Network.
Averett University provides all you need for your future through learning that embraces all of your infinite potential. With flexible online and on-campus programs, affordable tuition, and over 50 majors and programs. Visit allaverett.com. Are you all in?
And we are back here with Averett Sports Network. Now on the mound here for the Cougars, going to be number 32, Tim Schwer. Schwer coming into this one with a 7.43 ERA with 9 appearances, 18 strikeouts on the year for the Cougars. as he's looking to start things off here. First pitch fouled off by Sumner, out of play to make it now 0-1. Schwer, a freshman pitcher out of Allentown, Pennsylvania. That's 2 pitches fouled off, so quickly ahead of the count of Schwer, 0-2. Trying to retire the leadoff batter here for the Quakers. So that pitch left high and left alone to make it now 1-2. That pitch chopped out to second to Romano. He goes over to first, and the play will be made. Romano to Wilson for the 4-3 putout to go ahead and retire the first batter. Now this will bring up Hairston with nobody on and 1 out on the board. As this pitch catches the outside part of the strike zone to call first strike of the at-bat to make it 0-1. Second pitch here, similar spot, just a little bit outside, left alone to make it 1-1. That pitch by Schwer was tracking back into the strike zone, just ran out of space to make it now 2-1 here. That one's going to be hit out to Romano again. He goes over. An easy play there at first for another 4-3 putout to make it now 2 outs on the board, nobody on. As the Cougars were able to make quick work of the first 2 batters here. As we're now going to see a pinch hitter here for the Quakers. It's going to be number 3, Chase Wade. So he's going to be hitting in place of Ryland Smith. Chase Wade on the season, batting .371 with 70 at-bats, 26 hits, as that one gets over third base and will fall in play for a single here for Wade and his first at-bat of the matchup to get a runner on first with 2 outs. So now back up to bat is going to be Horn, the right fielder. This pitch is going to be away and called ball to make it 1-0. So that one fouled off to even the count at 1-1. So now ball here to make it 2-1. That one's going to be fouled out of play to make it now 2-2. As pitch high and inside catches Horn, and he will reach off a hit by pitch. So now 2 runners on the base path here for the Quakers with 2 outs on the board. As the Cougars were able to retire the first two on back-to-back 4-3 putouts, but the next two batters here for the Quakers able to reach. One off a single, one by a hit by pitch. This will bring back up Tudor, the DH here for the Quakers. Pitch here on the outside part of the zone is going to be called ball to make it 1-0. This time catching the outside part of the strike zone to make it now 1-1. As this pitch going to catch straight down the middle to make it now 1-2 here. So Tudor now has to protect the plate with 2 outs here and 2 runners on. Outside pitch left alone to make it now 2-2. Score 8-1. 6 of those runs coming in the 6th inning, with a 3-run shot in that inning as well by Ryland Smith. And the Cougars have yet to been able to answer, as before that point it was 2-1, as that one's going to be hit out of play. Mason Williams sprinting over trying to make the play, but that's going to go out of play to keep the count at 2-2. That pitch left outside and now force a full count here for Schwer, as Tudor was able to battle all the way back in to make it now a full count with 2 outs and 2 on. This one's going to be hit to Romano at second. And he goes to first and makes the 3rd out of the inning unscathed. All 3 of the outs going to be a 4-3 put out there for Romano, as they kept them busy in that inning. No runs scored, and the score still 8-1. The Cougars back up to bat at the bottom of the 8th after the break. And we are back here with Averett Sports Network.
Now batting for your Averett Cougars, number 17, Kevin Ziske.
As we're going to start things off with number 17, pitch hitter here for the Cougars, going to be Kevin Ziske. Ziske batting .259 on the year of 54 at-bats and 14 hits. His first pitch called strike there to make the count 0-1. So that pitch going to be fouled into the backstop there to make it 0-2. That one's going to be popped off the ground, gets the pitcher, and that's going to be a 1-3 put out to start things off. And that's new pitcher, number 6, Ty Clark, has a 10.6 ERA on the season, a 1-3 record with 8 appearances. He has 9 strikeouts. And this brings up Brophy at the plate here. With nobody on and 1 out. So that one's going to be a chopper over third base. And Brophy, with a lot of speed, goes for second. He slides in. He gets there. So a double there for Brophy, using all the speed to get around off a chopper over third. So the Cougars lose a runner in the first at-bat, the leadoff at-bat, as that was the out. The second at-bat gets the 2. As this brings up now Bird, the DH here for the Cougars. This first pitch is going to be looked at and called ball to make it 1-0. So the cloud's been kind of covering over, and this one's a little darker out here. I don't know if you can tell by the cameras or not, but still a warm one here in spring. Is here, 85 out today. So a warmer one here, as that pitch is going to be called ball 2-0. That one swung at and missed by Bird. Outside pitch gets Bird the chase to make it now 2-1. That one barreled up, goes out to second. That's going to be a 4-3 put out for the second out of the at-bat, but that will advance Brophy to third. So now Brophy on third. This will be another pinch hitter here. It's going to be number 5, Drew Rabin.
And now batting for your Averett Cougars, number 5, Drew Rabin.
It's Drew Rabin batting 176 on the year with 17 at-bats and 3 hits. He's going to see his first at-bat of the matchup here. First pitch swung at and missed to make the count 0-1. Second pitch here. It's going to be swung at and missed. So now 0-2, quickly behind the count is Rabin, as he has to battle back into this one with the runner on third. So that pitch is going to be in the dirt, blocked by Smith, keeps the runner at third. And count now 1-2. As this pitch is swung at and missed to retire the inning off of a strikeout. And the Cougars leave one on third. That will bring us to the top of the ninth with the Quakers back up to bat after the break.
is inclusive, encompassing, inspiring. Averett University provides all you need for a future you deserve through learning that embraces all of your infinite potential with flexible online and on-campus programs, like our newest programs in entrepreneurship and psychology, with more coming soon, with affordable tuition and 24/7 support. It all leads to you becoming a catalyst for positive change. Visit allaverett.com. Averett University. Are you all in?
And we are back here with Averett Sports Network. Another pitching change here for the Cougars is going to be number 40, Blake Chatham. Chatham with a 1.74 ERA, 0-1 win-loss record, in 8 appearances, 10 innings pitched, has 9 strikeouts on the season. As he looks to finish out the matchup here for the Cougars defensively. His first pitch going to be away, 1-0. This is going to be Smith, the catcher, back up to bat here for the Quakers. 2 outside pitches called balls to make it now 2-0. Chatham's the freshman out of Youngsville, North Carolina, played his high school ball at Franklinton. So that pitch is going to find the zone to make it now 2-1. So a little bit of movement in the Guilford side. Bullpen might make a move to close things out here in this one. So now count is 3-1. As that one's going to be hit high out to center field, and that's going to be McCabe stretching over and making the first out of the inning. Retires the leadoff batter. So nobody on, 1 out. This brings up number 23, Nick Bowles, for the Quakers. This pitch is going to be hit out to third. Grider sticks with it. Throw in time. As that's going to be a 5-3 put out there. As Grider at first didn't field it clean and on the far side of the diamond. That's a tough throw to make, but he gets it there in time. So quick 2 outs here for Chatham and the defensive staff here for the Cougars. As Robbins now at first base. Zischke is out in right field now, and Rabin out in left field. Defensively, all the changes for the Cougars in this inning. So 1-0, Chatham the pitch. It's going to be hit out to Brophy at short. Fields it, goes across the diamond, and play is made. 6-3 put out to end off the top of the ninth. The Cougars trying to extend this one out with one last at bat here. We'll be back with Averett Sports Network after the break. And we are back here with Averett Sports Network. Bottom of the ninth. The Cougars have a little bit of a hill to try to climb here to get back into this one to try to force extras. Starting things off, it's going to be Preston Robbins here for the Cougars. As that pitch is going to fall in there for a strike to make it 0-1. It looks like we have on deck a pinch hitter is going to be number 33 for the Cougars. Connor Cubis. As that pitch is going to be a strike. So 0-2 the count here for Robbins. As that's going to be a swing and a miss. 3 pitches, 3 strikes to get the first out here for Clark in the defense to start things off.
And now back for Averett Cougars, number 3, Connor Hubis.
So now Cubis up to hit here for the Cougars, making his first at bat of the matchup here. First pitch called strike to make it 0-1. Cubis on the year, batting 111 with 9 at bats and 1 hit. As that second pitch called strike to make it 0-2. This pitch is going to be low and in the dirt to make it now 1-2. Trying to get Cubis to chase. He stays off of it. And that pitch called ball to make it down 2-2. You see the Cougars starting to be a little bit more aggressive at the plate as they got quite a bit of ground to try to make up, to try to keep this thing going. And so far, hasn't been working out as that one's fouled off. Now 3-2 the count. And that's going to be left alone, and that's going to be a backwards K there for Clark. Back-to-back strikeouts here for the first 2 batters at the bottom of the ninth. And now the Cougars got to get all 7 runs to keep this thing alive with only 1 out left in play. This is going to be Kyle Wilson up to bat here for the Cougars. As that one's going to be popped straight up in the air. And that's going to be Hairston coming up from first, and he makes the pop out there, out of play. And that's going to be it for this matchup. The Quakers take an 8-1 victory over the Cougars. A lot of that damage was done in the 6th inning where they put up 6 runs and a 3-run shot by Ryland Smith. So the Quakers will advance to 12-14-1, and the Cougars will drop to 4-19-1 in today's matchup. This has been all for Averett Sports Network, and always remember, roll Cougs.